What is good, Cardano fam, ADA gang? We have lots of exciting updates to unpack today and massive drama, so hit that subscribe, hit that like. Let's start with SnekFun, all the juicy updates. Search bar added, transaction speed optimized, more features loading, mobile user experience improvements loading. There's always going to be hiccups with software, and software is always evolving. So we move forward with optimism. That's how we move forward. A great shout out by Altcoin Daily on SnekFun. Of course, a fantastic PumpFun alternative, one of many, and they're bringing a lot of eyes, a lot of transactions, both within the ecosystem and outside. So good stuff. Now, we saw this tweet yesterday, but Charles Hoskinson congratulating SNEK. Well done. Cardano just set a new all-time record for daily trades. Love it. New Milestone Alert, 246,000 plus ADA handles have been minted on the Cardano blockchain. Now that everyone is going to mint and sell sub-handles, they believe that after September 9th, easily will break through 250,000 handles minted. And this is a simple but super crucial part of the Cardano ecosystem of simplifying wallet addresses and whatnot, adding utility, having this Linktree-esque customization. I think what they're doing is so important, and people are sleeping on this project still. Stuffio, we saw the Charles interview, a lot of traction. Final numbers for the Charles mint with Charles Hoskinson are in. Total Charles media tokens over 30 million. So over 30 million videos were sold in 48 hours. This is a historic mint for Cardano and a revolutionary new way for creators to monetize and connect with their audience. Love it. This is such an exciting tweet, probably the tweet of the day. Leios is going to provide a dramatic increase in layer 1 performance, says IOG. Who doesn't love that? And I love that they say dramatic increase, complemented by rollups. Coming to Plutus V3 and Hydra, these things together will make for best-in-class for scalability. Best-in-class scalability, guys. Dramatic increase. If we think about SnekFun and everything else, this is going to play a super important role. Obviously, layer 2s as well, but I love what I see here. Fantastic post. Cardano Top Tokens by volume. We see SNEK, World Mobile Token, many in there. Not really surprised with the names that I see here. SNEK and World Mobile Token continue to dominate. And it looks like my prediction was correct, guys. I was saying how SnekFun was going to be like the most exciting PumpFun alternative. And lo and behold, it is. And I think part of that is the strong community, the blue chip. And I think there's many blue chips on here. I think Nike is going to make a massive rise again. Still, he's a good pig, was a good pig, will be a good pig. Avatar Nick crushing it. I really like Liftoff, and new product is in, guys. Today, they launched a Cardano Lending and Borrowing Aggregator. This launched yesterday. Both NFTs and Tokens project will gain royalties. Levy integration complete. LendFi Fluid next. Plutus V3 based lending automation features coming. One secret feature coming. So give a follow to Sparkky. I really like the branding. I like the website. These designers like Avatar Nick definitely knows what he's doing, because what I've seen with Saturn Swap, integration with Liftoff, just the user experience, the user interface just looks so modern and elegant. So as other blockchains unnamed are in the top 100 and haven't tweeted in 3 years, Cardano just keeps bustling. So with the layer 1 performance increasing, I can only expect that Cardano is going to go crazy. They will cope like we've never seen before, guys. The cope will be unreal. DexHunter Aggregator. Few improvements in the past day. Added unverified token search for all the new meme coins. Added quicker market cap updates for new SNEK.fun orders. I love these integrations. Fixed Splash Protocol order processing. Happy trading. I mean, aggregators play an important role, even on the subject of travel. Like, I love aggregators like Google. Who else? Kayak. You know, all the other, Microsoft even. Did you know Microsoft has like a travel aggregator? So aggregators play an important role to get you the best deal possible, and the needs are only going to increase. I love this. We have simplified token verification process. Verify your project on DexHunter here when you open this up. A simple form to submit details. So I like that a lot. Let's move on to some changes. Let's start with the CLO, the Chief Legal Officer of Ripple. I love this because his insights apply to altcoins and they benefit us too. The term crypto asset security is nowhere to be found in any statute It's a fabricated term with no legal basis. The SEC needs to stop trying to deceive judges by using it. So, as much as people clown on Ripple, I think that the work they do, the benefits cascade to the rest of the market, including the Cardano ecosystem. Recently, Charles Hoskinson spoke positively on XRP and its creation and the work by David Schwartz. And being that Ripple, the CEO, Brad Garlinghouse, has been expecting a Cardano ETF, like a North American-centric ETF, I think the wins that they have, we should celebrate it. And I think there's a lot of good insight to learn. Now, before we nosedive into some of the more negative stuff, the dramatic stuff, I like this post by Yoda. Cardano doesn't need new narratives. It should stay true to its original mission of becoming a global decentralized financial operating system. However, presenting Cardano as Bitcoin 2.0 could be a compelling narrative, and it could be an easy way for people to digest. Sometimes I see guys like, yesterday someone sent me a post and he was asking me to read through it, and it was just so long. Like, we need to create products in bite-sized pieces for individuals, and I think Cardano ecosystem is getting better and better. I think like the retail users can understand like, hey, this is Bitcoin 2.0, and we don't need a new narrative really. Cardano boasts high decentralization, extended UTXO, enhanced script programmability, on-chain governance, and shorter block times. The next improvement will be related to the Nakamoto consensus. The Ouroboros, Leios, and Paros upgrade will be the most significant advancements to the Nakamoto consensus since Bitcoin's inception. So if Bitcoin is Krillin, right? And I like Bitcoin. I got miners. I mine Bitcoin solo and in shared pools. I have them off right now because I got to get a bigger SSD for the increase in node size. But I think that Bitcoin, if it's Krillin, like, apologize for that comparison, Cardano is like Super Saiyan Blue. But we're in the time chamber right now. We're doing some training. We need some more training, iron out what we need in terms of scalability and whatnot, some other quirks that we need to fix. I also like that Cardano Yoda understands the need for USDC. I see a lot of people be like, no, we don't need it. But it's like, stables are important. In addition to our existing ones, we will nurture those too. But back to this, wrapping up. Like Bitcoin, Cardano has a hard-capped monetary policy. Additionally, thanks to the proof-of-stake mechanism, Cardano is more economically sustainable in the long term, eliminating the need for tail inflation. Cardano will finish what Satoshi started. What a fantastic tweet. Cardano Yoda is so based. And the proof-of-stake is fantastic because there were a lot of people in projects that use they don't have a proof of stake, and they yearn for that, to be able to put it away psychologically as a store of value. And the masses see this as like a savings account, right? Getting that yield. And getting yield in the variety of ways we have, I think we're set up truly to be very versatile. So Bitcoin 2.0 is an easy way to understand it. Breaking news. So Charles was slamming some trolling. Of course, Twitter is full of trolling left and right. It's like the block button has more utility and the mute button has more utility than 99% of crypto. So Charles responded. I'm not going to read that tweet, but he responded, buy some Solana. So it is what it is. Minturn has some zesty tweets. Minturn has great tweets, and he delivers the news in a very funny way, dramatic way. So fantastic. And before we get into this highly, highly controversial stuff with 3UTXO, I need to tell you guys, I will always be transparent. I will never abuse the treasury. I won't even touch the treasury. I will always provide disclosure. This is why I made Angry Crypto. It's inspired by Angry Joe. If you don't know Angry Joe, OG gaming review channel and movie review channel, where he calls out the bad actors, the corporate commander. And if someone's not angry or standing up, who will? So this leads me to the next point in just a moment, is that every product you see or anything you see Cardano-wise, no one's paying me a penny. Like, I'm just doing my best to increase the awareness, shill our own bags, and that's it. If someone does pay me, you will hear from me. You will hear from me, and I will give you 100% disclosure. And I feel like disclosure and integrity is lacking in this space, and we see many examples of that recently with the Cardano girls, the controversy we see on Twitter. So there was a long 2-hour spaces that I joined. I just listened. I didn't request to speak. I wanted to listen. I wanted to observe. And it was with 3UTXO and the other account Waffle as well. So it was Floridian and the other gentleman, I can't recall his name. Now, I want to first say, I'm not saying anyone's a scammer. I'm open and receptive and listening. However, I do make my observations. And if you don't know what happened in a nutshell, basically a draft leak. There was a draft leak of a proposal asking for 200 million ADA to set up some sort of like bootstrapping VC type of thing where they can delegate and reinvest in the ecosystem and whatnot. But people keep criticizing the lack of transparency, the lack of experience and whatnot. So, and I noticed the small things. I said the irony of asking for 200 million ADA, but no premium. And what I mean by that is that like they're asking for 200 million ADA. But if you're professional, then branding is important for you, right? Perception is important for you. When you have a check mark, as cliche as it sounds, that check mark is important because if you're a business, it increases your perception. You're not going to see Binance roll without it. You're not going to see others roll without it. Heck, I'm just Angry Crypto, and that's Rick. Like, we roll with it too. And yet their 3 accounts don't even have that. How can you ask for 200 million ADA but not cough up 999? Like, community is important, right? And I think about the things like, as we see here, off-chain metrics, trust, clarity, transparency. We have to respect the Angry Crypto fam. We have to respect the Cardano community because the Cardano community is full of chads. They're intelligent. Generally speaking, you're always going to have outliers, sure. But if you try to bamboozle them, that's the wrong network. Like, pack up and go to, one of the other networks that's what they do, right? So I put a poll up. Just keeping it neutral. I said, do you support 3UTXO? Yes, no, undecided. And, 81% of total votes lean towards no and undecided. This poll will remain up and everything is always linked for you guys. If you guys want to drop comments, anything else. I'm watching, guys. I'm watching. And I don't want to go angry. I don't like to talk about the FUD, but sometimes we have to address it. I know some of you guys said, hey, react to Bitboy. And there's a tweet towards the end. We'll look at it. It's just, it's tough. Sometimes you have to address it. Other times it's like, what do you do? Because with this, like, governance around the corner, it's important. And I'm taking notes. I'm observing who's silent. I'm observing the people who are pushing for a sense of urgency. And I still believe that Cardano Yoda is one of the great D-reps. So the call to action, guys, is make sure that you find a D-rep that aligns with your views. For me, I think that's Cardano Yoda. I think Big Pay is also really good. Stake with Pride. Shout out to Chris O. I see a lot of passion by Chris O. These guys have been speaking out against the 3UTXO controversy. Also, Hosky is a fantastic one. I'd say my top 3 would be Cardano Yoda, Hosky, Stake with Pride. But there's many good ones, and it's climbing to the 300 plus. So the call to action is we need to participate in governance one way or another. Because there's going to be many, and I'm not saying that they're a scam. Let me make that clear. I'm not concluding what they are. I'm just saying I observe things. I watch it. I'm a UX researcher. So there's a lot of power in observation and listening. So hopefully we have a positive outcome moving forward into governance. Of course, Ben slamming for clicks and whatnot in a very negative way. I watched the whole video. We're not going to watch it. We'll comment quickly. I watched the whole video. He said reacting to Chang. He never really talked about Chang except in a very simple way. He read his own tweet. And of course, you can open the description and see 500 different products, I'm generalizing, of what's being shilled. Need I say more? Need I say more? You don't have to trust me. You don't have to trust him. We'll look in a moment at metrics. But a quick reminder by Samuel that there's basically 80 days, give or take, until the next fork is constitutional according to the Interim Constitution. Governance is coming quick. Now is the time to pick your D-rep you want to delegate to and delegate. Now, the reason why I'd rather delegate to someone else is there's a lot of responsibility. Guys, this is not a popularity contest. No, this isn't Cardano Girls popularity contest. We saw how that has been backfiring. This is about picking people who are aligning with your views. I think it's Cardano Yoda, and I think Hosky's also. But let's move on to, this was a nice surprise. They deleted their poll, which we had 6 times more votes than Polkadot, Solana, and Ethereum. But they're going to be having a space in basically under a week. Beatport, if you don't know, is a pioneer in electronic music sales. They've sold over $250 million in sales. They focus on producers, DJs, dance music. And this is an extension of Beatport, their main account, dabbling in Web3. In 2023, they collaborated with Polkadot. And who knows, maybe they'll delve into Cardano. Could be a fantastic opportunity if you're a musician. This will probably interest you. I'll do my best to attend that space. So let's move on to like what I said about not trusting me, not trusting Ben. What about data? What does the data show? You know, Ben's title says Cardano community underwater. Ben threatens and says, hey, like, fight me, Charles. Like, it's just, and I'm not trying to belittle Ben. Like, I wish the best for him. But it's like, when he makes statements like that, let's look at the data. The data says here, Cardano, Solana, Polkadot, Toncoin, and Ethereum. These are YouTube searches in the past 12 months, people typing in the search queries. And we can see that Cardano trades blows with Solana matching or exceeding, getting close to Ethereum. And in moments like here of like going into the new year, we're seeing stuff like 18x Toncoin. You fast forward and we're seeing stuff like, again, trading blows with big projects, trading blows with Ethereum. Yes, Solana has high as well, but people say it's a dead chain, but it's not. Google Trends disagrees. And this is just YouTube search. You can look at Google search. You can get more granular. The TLDR is that this blue bar is significantly higher on average. On average, if we just go on average, almost 3x more than Polkadot and almost 5x more than Toncoin. And it's close. It's close to Solana. Solana, shout out to Solana. They did some cool stuff with their phone. PumpFun inspired us. We could always take inspirations from each other, but it's factually incorrect when people just say it's dead. And all they do is read their own tweet in a video. Like, grow up. Bitcoin, past 5 years. Let's move on to Bitcoin dominance price predictions. The past 5 years. We've seen an uptick. It was probably because there's been a lot of FUD. People are now, again, like, oh, okay, maybe the bottom's in. It climbed back up to 23% compared to May of 2021. A 77% delta away from May of 2021 peaks. What does that mean? That means retail's not here. If retail was here, we'd be popping high. We'd be popping in these areas here. We'd be going real high. So retail is not here according to Bitcoin search terms. It's way too low globally. Scrolling down again, we still see United States 27th, with the top nations being mostly, there's exceptions, but mostly developing nations. We see El Salvador, we see many of them. Yeah, sure, there's some exceptions, but exceptions don't make the rule, and USA is so low. What about Bitcoin dominance? You know, do people like Ben show you Google Trends, Bitcoin Trends, search Bitcoin dominance? No, they just put a stupid title. They put 100 products in the description, so please be diligent, guys. Again, I'm not trying to toot my horn and say this is about me. I'm just trying to equip you guys with the tools to see. The line doesn't lie. People lie, but the line doesn't lie. This line is January 2018 when Cardano had its first all-time high after getting listed in September of 2017, I believe. And we had Bitcoin dominance at a very low, basically like 38%. The second time, which was the tail end of August, we had around 40%. And we're climbing right now. Now, if we take Alex Becker, shout out Neo Tokyo again. My brother's part of Neo Tokyo. I don't have any NFT or anything like that. He gave me the spare hoodie. But I know Alex Becker said that there might be a pullback. As much as he memes on it, it's kind of just cheeky comedy. As much as he memes on Cardano, if there's more of a pullback on the price, then we may see Bitcoin dominance climb up a little bit higher even, potentially, and then see a plunge. I really like this quote I've been saying lately. In order to see a capitulation, we needed to capitulate in order to catapult. No catapulting without capitulating. You know what I'm saying? You need that contrast. That's what sends it. But don't get caught up in the narrative. Zoom out. Look at the trajectory. Look at the data. Look at Bitcoin global searches. Look that Cardano is still, people are on the fence. They're on the fence. What this translates psychologically, as a UX researcher, what it translates psychologically is that the people are patiently waiting. And I'm hearing that from people. Oh, I'll buy Cardano when it goes to 50 cents. It makes no sense to us because we're like, bruh, buy low, sell high. But they wait and they let the price be the legitimizing of the project, which is why they get in high and they get out quickly. So everything is pointing to that. When we see stuff like this, when we see Bitcoin dominance, it's pointing to what? We may see the price go down a little bit more. We may start to touch that price floor. And this is, again, we're not even pivoting from our prediction. We're not pivoting. We're not bandwagoning. It's now been probably half a year that we've consistently said post-halving, it's going to be jittery. It's going to be bearish. That has been true. And 24 cents is the local floor. I would love to send it lower. Why not? So while people get caught up in narratives, we don't need to get caught up in narratives. We can look at the data. And the data is showing us that I think imminently we may see a nice big explosion, a nice big pump in Cardano price. But I don't think that will happen until the cold months. When we zoom out and we think partner chains, 2025, Robinhood acquiring Bitstamp, 2025, everything's pointing to the next year, cold months, post-election. It's quite simple, guys. You don't really need to complicate the blueprint when it comes to cycles. And the narratives are just the garnish that goes on top. We can't really brute force. There are exceptions with Solana, Pepe, Bonk, but exceptions don't make the rule. So my prediction is that we will exceed that $3 very easily. There's many reasons to. I highly recommend you guys check out Charles's video recently about the burning and how that's really stupid and counterintuitive with price action. And I agree, burning the treasury is stupid. It makes no sense. We need the treasury. It's going to help a lot more in the long term. But yes, we can surpass the previous all-time high. I'm thinking $5 to $7 is very conservative. Potentially we could go higher than that. But before that, people will FUD this. So get ready for ultra FUD. If you thought you saw a lot of FUD now, you're going to see even more FUD. So a couple of things around the corner. One being excited for, not excited for that. I'm not even going to join any more of that. Wrong one. Excited for the space with Beatport. Going to be joining this one. And I think the most important takeaway for today is with the update for L1, the dramatic increase in layer 1 performance. I think this excites me a lot. Best-in-class scalability will allow all of our platforms to just go crazy and invite more users inside and outside the ecosystem. So guys, pretty good in terms of news. Let me know what's exciting you guys the most and what do you think about this 3UTXO? From me, it's a definitive no. Definitive no. Like negative sentiment, okay? I'm not convinced whatsoever. The more I hear from them, the lower my sentiment goes below, like straight into the ground. So hit that subscribe, hit that like. I'll see you in the next Angry Crypto Show.